In fact, we've been able to get the full executive order. This was put out officially by the government of the administration in America about 5 minutes back, administration of Donald Trump. He's put out a full background, and then he also says that to deal with the national emergency described, and he uses a technicality of executive order, and he claims it is necessary and appropriate to impose additional duty on imports of articles of India which are directly or indirectly importing Russian Federation of oil. And he says, and he goes on to detail it, he says, in my judgment, imposing tariffs as described below, in addition to maintaining the other measures taken to address the national emergency described in Executive Order 14,066, will more effectively deal with the national emergency described. And he says this is as consistent with applicable law. Articles of India now imported into the customs territory of US shall be subject to an additional rate of duty 25%. And then there's another technicality. He says subject to Section 3 of this order, rate of duty shall be effective with respect to goods entered for consumption or withdrawn from warehouse for consumption. And then he gets into the details of how these goods will enter America. And then he goes into the scope of duties and stacking. Now, the sum and total of what Donald Trump has done, he has put an additional 25% tariff on India, additional 25% tariff, which means effectively it's 50% tariff. Now, remember, there was also a penalty that he had levied. There was no number put to it, assuming that it was 10%. Now, we're not even getting into that, but officially the tariff that he's imposed, 25% earlier, 25% now, effectively, does this mean it is 50% tariff for India? A few market experts joining us live. Ashish Wakankar is joining us on the broadcast. Ashish, 50% is Donald Trump's tariff rate for India. How are you reading this?
Wasn't it expected? I mean, good evening. Thanks for having me. But wasn't it expected? I mean, he had announced yesterday that, some very large number will be announced. So 25% coming out was, I think, not surprising at all. I think one more news that came out, and I saw it on your channel itself, was the likelihood of the Prime Minister attending SCO and meeting China. So I think this war of words and this narrative building is now out in the open. It's taking place. One will have to show patience rather than getting unnecessarily disturbed. The impact of this is not something that is going to be felt overnight. Yes, the markets and people and the announcement that people will read on media, they will think as if it's happening overnight. The impact of that will take time to unfold. There is a lot of front loading of that has also taken place. So I think the best thing to do in this situation is to wait for the negotiators to come to India in the second half of August. Wait for the bilateral trade agreement. It's not that the talks have stalled. It's not that India and US have decided not to continue on the discussion. World has not come to an end. There is someone who is, if I may use the word, this is in a way unprecedented. It is also, some might say, impulsive. But the point I'm trying to make is this additional 25%, some would say, was expected. So I honestly, at the moment, not disturbed.